Today we're joined by two people whose work is fundamentally about supporting actors, building confidence and creating real pathways into the industry. First, Lee Waddingham, founder of Acting Links CIC, a community interest company dedicated to championing acting talent across Lincolnshire and creating accessible, ethical and sustainable support for performers. And alongside Lee, we're joined by Lisa George, best known for her long-running role as Beth Tinker on Coronation Street. Lisa began her journey with Acting Links as a patron, but when the organisation became a CIC in September 2025, she stepped up as a director, working alongside Lee as an equal partner, playing a hands-on role in shaping the organisation's vision, values and future, alongside fellow directors Catherine Hewitt and Rita Powell. Together, Lee and Lisa represent both sides of the industry and a shared commitment to making acting feel possible, supported and sustainable for people in Lincolnshire. I am delighted to be joined by you, Lisa and Lee. Thank you so much for coming on Location Links Loud. I've got so many things I want to ask you. But to start us off, how would each of you describe what you do in your words and to someone who doesn't know who you are outside the industry?
I'm an actress. I've been an actress for 31 years this year. After leaving Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama in 1995. And since then, I have been doing TV, theatre, I've done reality TV, I've done music, I've done singing, I've done an album, I've done podcasts, audiobooks, musical theatre, you name it. So I've just basically covered most of the industry over these 31 years. Like today I had interviews with the radio stations for BBC for like an hour and a half with different radio stations talking about my involvement with the RNIB because I'm visually impaired and it's their 90th celebration of talking books this year and they got asked to do an audio recording of Pride and Prejudice. So I was talking on the radio this morning about doing that. So yeah, I'm then also a board member of Acting Links, which the lovely Lee set up. I was originally a patron and then he brought me on as a board member, so we oversee the creative side of the programme. So I've just got my fingers in lots of pies. That's what I do.
Mine's going to sound terribly dull compared to that. I started out, when people ask me what do I do, I generally just say I work in theatre. And then if they are interested, which they usually are, I expand a little bit and say that I did start out as a performer, actor, in musical theatre and dancer, but always wanted to become a producer. And that is really where the majority of my career has been as a producer, commercial pantomimes, musical theatre tours, comedy. And that was up until the pandemic. And now my career has taken a bit of a curveball. And I guess that's why I'm here today, because I set up Acting Links, which is an organisation that supports Lincolnshire-based actors in their careers and providing training opportunities for them.
Wonderful. Was there a moment that either of you realised acting or supporting actors was where you wanted to focus your energy?
I knew when I was 12 I wanted to be an actress. I remember Dad was working in London and we went for the weekend and he took us to see Singing in the Rain with Tommy Steele. Oh. And I was just like, that's what I want to do. So originally I wanted to just do musical theatre. So that was the road that I was going down. So I knew at 12, but I didn't tell anyone until I was like 15 because I was too scared. But I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I'd set goals out in my head and I wanted to join the National Youth Theatre. And I started going to the local operatic society because obviously they did singing and that's the route that I wanted to go. And then we had a really good drama department at my school, which was brilliant. There was loads of really good actors. And I found out that they went to drama school. And I was like, there's drama schools. You could go to drama school. I want to go to drama school. And weirdly, it never connected that to do it as a profession, even though I knew I wanted to be an actor. Does that make sense? And like nowadays, there's a big fame thing. Everyone wants to be famous just for being famous. That didn't even occur to me. I just wanted to act. I just wanted to say, I'm an actor and I act every day and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I knew from 12, that's what I wanted. And I just stuck to my guns.
For me, growing up, there was always two career paths I wanted to follow. I always wanted to join the Royal Air Force. Coming from Lincolnshire, that was obviously Bomber County, and I was a cadet for 7 years and did my flying solo. But times were different then, and I knew that my life was going to go in a different way, and so therefore I followed my career into theatre. And realistically, I don't think growing up, I didn't really think it was ever going to be achievable. You know, I started researching drama schools, and from my background, drama school wasn't ever going to be achievable.
Let's delve into that a little bit more, because that's, I think, really important to me, because I was the same. I'm in Lincolnshire, and you look at London and TV and film, and it was so far away from a little village in Lincolnshire that how did you find the path to be able to have a career in theatre?
Well, literature was available. Obviously, back then when the internet did not exist. Mobile phones didn't exist. I'm old. And yes, I was given brochures for Mount View and the main drama schools. And then you're reading the brochures and then you look at the cost. And even back then, the 3-year program was looking at £30,000. There was no way I was going to be able to ask my parents. I just couldn't ask my parents to do that. It was too big an ask. And in Lincolnshire, when I was growing up, there was no discretionary awards. Times have changed now with funding for going to drama schools, with dance and drama awards, etc. And now that they're all degree programs, there's different funding opportunities available. Back then, Humberside, as we were, Humberside, did not give any discretionary awards. So university was the only option for me. Luckily, I would like to think that hasn't held me back in my career and achieving what I've done by not going to one of the mainstream drama schools. I did work professionally, got my equity card straight away, went into Joseph. But it was daunting as a teenage kid, wanting to further your career in this amazing world of acting, but the door in, there was barriers because of where I came from. And thinking back now, yes, I did think, I haven't got to RADA, I haven't got to Mount View, I haven't got to Royal Welsh, and is that going to hold me back? I advocate now that I don't think it really matters where you train. I know, yes, there's going to be some better establishments than others, but it's about making the best of the opportunities once you're there. And the best place for someone to train is the place where they're happy, because you could go to RADA and be incredibly unhappy, and it'd be a total waste of 3 years. So, did I go off on one there?
No, I like the off on one. I'm going to bring it back to Lisa going to National Youth Theatre, because I was also at National Youth Theatre, but as a stage manager. So I come from it from a behind the scenes perspective and not an acting perspective. And now on the board for development, it's a very different time for young actors, that there is access to training. More so, it's still very Southern centric, but they certainly with the National Youth Theatre, they are very national now. Back in the day, you would have to go to London for your interviews and your auditions if you were going to get into the final.
Mine was at Manchester.
Did you go down to London to do the course?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I did.
So the courses all happened in the 90s down in London.
Right, yeah.
So, and then the rep would be in London. So now the programme actually happens nationwide, not just bringing everybody down to London. And what's fabulous about that establishment, which was slightly different for me, was I, again, similar situation, got the letter, you're in, but it's going to cost X. And it was like, oh, I can't go then. But they helped the final anniversary, and it was actually a trust fund in Birmingham, at which point I was spending my teenage years in Birmingham, and it accessed a trust fund that had been left to young women in the arts. And it was that vague that we could actually access that money. So there are trust funds still that you can access, that if you are, but now there's more so, there's lots of things with National Film and Television School, with Screen Skills, with all these different access to the industry that young people can find funding. And I suppose for Lincolnshire, you're now bringing that experience back to actors within the region. And
That's true.
do you think now people are still, young people and people at any age wanting to get into acting and finding there are still barriers?
I think there are.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but I think that there's barriers. I think barriers are not necessarily geographical. I think things have improved here, certainly because of picking up on what you said about more funding opportunities. Organisations have realised about inclusivity and not being elitist, which is a good thing, especially for a rural county like Lincolnshire.
I think we're still way behind though.
Agreed.
Really, like you think, gosh, 31 years I've been in the business now, and still there's no like proper studios like for acting people here, or acting for screen things, apart from, you know, Acting Links obviously. But it's like, gosh, it's took this long. Had it not been for Lee, we still would be in the same position. And it's quite shocking, because I realised when I moved to Manchester, like some of the actors that I work with, there'd been like TV workshops since they were kids. And I was like, God, we didn't have anything like that at all. There was no, like, even when you went to the career advice, it was like television, theatre, no, but we're talking rubbish. Nothing like that. We know nothing about it. So you've got no help whatsoever. You just had to try and find your way through it, you know? But like the National Youth Theatre, I just saw it in a magazine. And that's how I found out about National Youth Theatre. I thought, I have to do it. And I was working as a blue coat in Hampshire, in Hayling Island, and I auditioned for it because I was like, I so want to do this. And I'd found, going back, one of the guys in the operatics had got a guy who was teaching him, Don Ringe, and he's got him work and he's gone professionally. So I phoned this guy up and said, I want to do my Landra exams with you, because I wanted to see whether I'd be any good at it. Because I thought, well, if I'm not, then I'm not going to go down the route. So I started taking my Landra exams, and then he helped me with my audition for National Youth Theatre. So I went to see Ed Wilson at Manchester, and then, yeah, obviously I went and did the course, and it completely changed my life.
Yeah, it does. And it always has been, and it's in its 70th year this year.
Wow.
It's celebrating, and I do think it has changed a lot of lives.
It was amazing.
Like, everybody does that with it, doesn't it? It's
seminal
seminal to people going and making the decision to, and it was for me. I made the decision that I can make a career out of this. This is what I want to do forever. In the same way you did, like you say, you didn't realise it was a job. And there's a lot of jobs in the industry still that people don't realise exist within the entertainment, within film, within TV. You know, whether it be accounting and you know, to costume design, to all the different things, that understanding that you can have a sustainable business career and live a life in entertainment. You've both got strong ties to Lincolnshire. How has the county shaped who you are and how you approach your work?
Well, I know, because I followed loads of people from the town who firstly inspired me, and I watched what they did with their careers, and I saw them going off to drama school, them being in musical theatre, and it's them going into children's TV, all that sort of stuff. And it's like, there's actually, and even today, I think, there's always been really strong talent in this area. Always. I know so many people from this area that have gone into the business, and you find out later in life, you bump into them and blah, blah, blah. And there's been so much talent. Now, I don't know why that is. Maybe we just produced really talented people. I don't know. But there's always been a really strong talent in the area. And there was also, you know, like Stage One, everyone, there's still people now, Caxtons, who work in the industry, like you say, in different aspects of the industry, but they all started either at Stage One, at operatics, so it gave them an opportunity to go into the profession, and I think there's loads of people from this area who've gone into it.
For me, Lincolnshire. Yeah, I'm really proud of coming from Grimsby. My dad was a fish merchant here. And when I became a producer, I would always sit at my desk and I would channel my dad from going to watch my father work as selling his fish as a fish merchant, and I was just totally in awe of his skills on the telephone. And you're a producer, you know how important doesn't matter if you're doing a deal to sign a multi-million-pound artist or selling 2 stone of fish, it's probably the same skills. And my dad was a genius and at doing that. And nearly every day when I was at my desk as a producer, I would channel my dad. Fish merchant to producer, transferable skills.
Absolutely transferable.
Well, my dad would tell you, he knew everything about everything, bless him. But yes, Lisa's mentioned the operatics. Just thought it might be worth saying, first time I ever met or saw Lisa was in a production that she was in, Anything Goes.
Yeah, it was. It's
And,
nice.
and I'm not just saying this, I promise I'm not, it's true. Her talent was outstanding then. And I think I would have been about 13, 14, was just in awe of this person on stage. And I would see her walking around town and I'd be like, that's the one. I'm a bit starstruck even then. So, yeah, even seeing amateur theatre in Lincolnshire gave me the aspirations to go into it in the industry. I blame you and the
And how weird that was sat next to each other right now.
we're business partners. I blame you and the Nolans. That's it.
I worked with Linda Nolan twice in Panto in Prison Cell Block H, the musical, and she wasn't happy that I said, you were my first pop concert 9 years old at Cleethorpes Pier.
And that's the same. I was 4. Are you older than me?
Yes.
I always forget
6 years older than you. Yeah, you say you're old. You may look older, but you know.
I always forget you're older.
Do you think coming from outside traditional industry hubs affects confidence or ambition specifically for performers?
For me personally, I know that when I moved down south to go and train, it was really apparent the disparity in exposure to culture, if that makes. I was way behind all the people from down south that I was all of a sudden in a year with. And then, I mean, this is a fact. At 18, going to drama school, I hadn't even ever had a curry. My first curry was when going down south and my classmates said, let's go for a curry. And you go, God, coming from Grimsby, that wasn't a thing.
Well, we didn't even get McDonald's till I was about 16. We didn't get a McDonald's in Grimsby till then. So I remember being at school in
I think it was only 5 years ago we got one in Skeg, so I wouldn't...
Do you know what I mean? But these things like that, and you go, oh, I'm going for Big Mac. What's Big Mac?
Yeah.
Felt really behind with everything.
Totally, yeah. I didn't even know what to order.
You know, clothing, everything was so behind.
Do you ever remember going to the West End for the first time?
Well, yeah, when I saw Singing in the Rain.
Oh, sorry, you do. Sorry, I should have been listening to your interesting anecdote. Mine was when I was at uni. First show I ever saw, Five Guys Named Mo, and it just blew my mind going into the West End and the lights and the glittering West End.
Mm.
Why do you think it's important that people can build creative pathways without feeling they have to leave home immediately? I felt that everything was happening everywhere else.
Yes.
Did you feel that way? And did you feel like you had to?
Everyone had to go away.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
person went to London to drama school. That person went to London for the BBC or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, without a shadow of doubt. So I knew in my head I was going to London. Mm-hmm. So even though I was at drama school in Cardiff, I was like, the day after I graduated, I got a van and moved to London. Because it was like, we have to, and in fact, most of my other northern friends who were at drama school, we all moved to London. We all lived off the Northern Line within close proximity to each other. So if we needed a bit of support and help. So we all did it. But do you know what? Eventually, we all started moving back up north. Because I knew after probably about 5 years of really struggling in London, it wasn't the right place for me. I needed to be in Manchester. I had to be up north.
I miss Sky. You know, it's like being in London, I think any city, I think I need to be somewhere I can sit. I think growing up in the Fens, to be honest, I didn't know what these buildings, you know, go into somewhere and I felt a little bit oppressed by it all with it. But moving out of London to have Sky has just settled my own conscience.
But it wasn't just that, it was also like the commute. Since I remember I worked at the information office at the BBC, and the different, because I couldn't use tubes, so I had to get the bus, 2 or 3 buses to get there for 9 in the morning. And I remember working in that building, and I used to go to half my drama school friends a job there because we was all out of work, But I remember how depressed everyone seemed to be, because it was like a circular building, the BBC TV studios. And I remember thinking, God, everyone looks so depressed here. They're really depressed. It's just like humdrum, just constant. And it was like, no, it's not for me anymore. I don't want to be here.
I think that's it. Then you go back to the question, and so like the benefits really is cost and mental health. And so if those networks can be built while staying in here, that negates the cost of living down there, and everyone's got better mental health, we're winning, aren't we? And let's face it, in this industry, it's rife with poor mental health because of the competition, because of the nature of freelancing. If there's a well-being to be had by staying in Lincolnshire, connecting with London, connecting with the hubs, which is part of what the work we do at Acting Links, and by bringing people from those hubs here, hopefully we'll all be a much happier industry, certainly based in Lincolnshire, because let's face it, we all like being at home.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk a bit more about Acting Links with you, Lee. For those who might not know Acting Links, what was the need that you saw, and why did you feel it was important to create it?
So I had been a producer in London for 30 years, or my career had been in London for 30 years. After the pandemic, it was time to come home. I'd worked solidly through the pandemic, and it was tough. And I had become disillusioned with the industry and with London, wanted some Sky. And it did coincide with father's ill health. And whilst I was home, I was being approached on an ad hoc basis by professional actors that knew what I'd done in the industry, asking for advice, career support. And it actually became quite a lot. I was thinking, God, I'm getting calls nearly every other day from people based in Lincolnshire. I asked, what do you think about this agent? Blah, blah, blah. I thought this needs to be formalised. Now, one of my offices used to be at the Actors Centre in London. And I thought, well, how about creating something like that here in Lincolnshire? Because the people that could afford to go to class were going outside of the county, going to Leeds, going to Manchester. But there's obviously a lot of other actors that don't have that ability to pay or drive to go to class. And there was nothing in Lincolnshire. So that's when Acting Links came to my thoughts. It was play on words, Lincolnshire, and creating links with the industry. I always said, use it. After 30 years, my little black book wasn't quite so little. Initially working with professionals, creating a network, giving them some visibility, but also providing the space for them to train with other professionals and not having to go to amateur societies to train with them. No disrespect to those societies, because they do a great job.
It's like nowhere to play and flex the muscles.
Yeah, and flexing your muscles, you want to be flexing with muscles with people that inspire you to train harder, rather than people, let's face it, hobbyist level acting, there's a big disparity in ability. And if you're a professional, working alongside those could temper your ability. So training with each other was a natural thing to do, a natural space to create. And it's taken off. And then beyond that, I realised in the whole of Lincolnshire there were no opportunities for hobbyist level actors. I hate the word amateur on anything I do, because there's such a negative connotation to that. I started drama classes for hobbyists to learn about the craft and how to approach creating a character, how to approach a text. creating a space, a drama school environment for those that haven't actually been to drama school, and to work alongside those amateur societies to train their actors so that then when they go and do their productions, they're better equipped. And that's really taken off. And we now have groups in Lincoln, Scunthorpe, Grimsby, and soon to be launched next Friday in Louth at the Riverhead Theatre.
Fantastic. And what are the biggest barriers for these actors trying to break into the industry from a county like Lincolnshire?
I think there's barriers wherever any actor comes from. Let's face it, it's not an easy industry. It really isn't. And it's important to me that I don't overpromise to the people we partner with. All I can do is, or all Acting Link's role is to deliver on the promise of bringing industry and exposing our actors to high caliber practitioners, giving them visibility. Our website has a page devoted to the professional actors that we partner with that has links to their spotlight. That's become an incredible resource for casting directors and producers, and we are now having direct approaches of paid work because people have seen that website. So giving them some visibility is a real positive. Yeah. I've forgotten what I was going to say next.
Very good.
I looked into your eyes as when your blue eyes distracted me.
What does success look like for you? Is it bookings? Is it visibility, or simply actors feeling less isolated?
Well, I'm a producer. Bookings are always going to, come on, Heather. Yeah, ka-ching. No, listen, it's not. And I think it's important to say that money's never been a drive for Acting Links. Our prices are extremely reasonable. I know it sounds like a sales pitch, but it was important to me that those classes are totally accessible. And I'm going to say we charge £10 for a 2-hour class. You know, that's incredibly. I always wanted the classes to cost less than a pack of fags because I didn't want an actor to say.
You can put your prices up then.
Yeah. Oh, no, fags are now £20. But I've never wanted actors to say I can't afford to come to class when I catch them having a cheeky, crafty fag outside. You go, well. So, joking apart, success. We're currently in the process of writing our first Arts Council bid, and should that be approved, that would be a big success to us because that can sustain us in our activity, isn't it? And it's a mammoth task. So to keep our sort of like model as we are, it is going to be reliant on funding so that we can continue to do the work and continue to attract the caliber of people that we have brought thus far. Lisa's done her masterclass. We've had Peter Hunt come to Grimsby, do a masterclass. Rhys Dinsdale, you know, big names. Success also is seeing the individuals that we partner with succeed. I didn't factor into the equation when I started Acting Links the rewards. You know, I've been very fortunate to have worked on some very big, high-budget productions, which I'm super proud of. But seeing these individuals flourish is parity to working on those that were my big career ticks. Hope that's okay.
And what you've brought to them in their lives, that's a success story in itself. And look, when we did the Silver Sphere Awards, I mean, how everyone came together and was so proud, and it was a success for them because we built this sort of acting community, and they've got new friends and support. That's also like success. It doesn't have to just be monetary. You know, it can be in other ways.
I must admit, the actors that we partner with across all groups use the word family, and I did not really envisage that. And maybe that's a byproduct of working in London, you know, where it's just commonplace what we do, that we collaborate, etc. And we're seeing other professionals on a daily basis. These people weren't. It's given them a family. It's given them a place and a purpose.
What excites you most when you see this local talent starting to believe that they belong in the industry?
Do you ever feel you belong in this industry? Ever? 30 years, I must admit, even sometimes. Sorry to.
Totally agree, actually.
I tell you what, when I find that person that feels they belong, I'll be going, what are you doing right? Tell me, tell me.
It's changed so much, the industry, over the years as well. It's very different now to how it was when we first entered the industry.
I mean, yeah, and I hope that doesn't sound too negative, because I still bloody love. Am I allowed to say bloody?
You are.
Thank you. Sorry if my mother watches this. I still enjoy it, and getting the rewards, seeing people. Yeah, big. Oh gosh, I don't want it to sound like I'm patting myself or us on backs, but we had a hobbyist level actor that actually self-taped for Hamnet. Now, that's incredible. And that came about because of the network we had created. One of the professionals had seen the casting breakdown, and it was a very specific casting breakdown. It was for the midwife, and they wanted an authentic midwife with experience in birthing without anesthesia.
Very specific.
Super specific. We had a midwife in our Grimsby hobbyist group with those skills, and a retired midwife. And she actually self-taped. So, okay, so she didn't get it. There was obviously several other actors, ex-midwives with experience in childbirth without anesthesia. But those sort of experiences for hobbyists and expert, and it's just gone away going, God, I actually got seen for Hamnet. And I go, and that's fueled her to try and to carry on. And you know that.
And without that acting links community, it would never have happened.
It would never have happened. She wouldn't even be without. So I'm obviously not going to say names, but that individual person wouldn't have even known what a self-tape is, because it's a professional thing. Does that make it? You know, you go and ask some of the hobbyists what a self-tape is, they wouldn't know. But we have covered that with them, haven't they? Our lot now do know.
So Lisa, I'm going to come to you, and we're going to do the Coronation Street chat.
Oh, right. The curry chat.
You played Beth Tinker for many years.
Uh-huh.
What has that experience taught you about longevity and resilience in the business?
Well, actually, I looked at that question and I thought, do you know what? The actual resilience came prior to Corrie, because so I was 40 when I got my break with Corrie, even though I'd done Corrie like 3 times before with other things. And you know, the nature of the business is so difficult. You're in work, out of work for a long time. So I had to learn, you know, my typing skills came in. I was doing admin jobs, waiting, bar work. And I think that is what makes your resilience, because when something good does happen, you completely appreciate it and value it. And that was one of the things that, to be fair, when I was there, and I think these, like, some young people would get these and they take everything for granted, and they get the big cars and they get the flash registration plates. And my dad was always like, make sure you buy your car, because if this doesn't last, then you're going to still have the payments for the car and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're right. You know, they're going off paying like £500 pair of trainers. I was like, how much? You know, put your money away. You should save for like property and things like this. Like, oh, Lisa, you're so boring. I was like, yeah, but I've been on the breadline. I know what it's like. I've been there. It's taken me a long time to get here. So I think the resilience comes in that build up to it. The longevity, to be fair, I mean, it does become a bit like a factory, actually, because you're in out all the day, you know, every single day, rehearsing lines, learning lines every night, or weekend learning lines. It's just, you don't realise how quick the time goes. Like, I was, for 2 EPs, I was offered 6 months with a 6-month option. Then the 6 months is gone like that. And then you're on to your next option. So it was another 6 months. Then you get offered a year's contract. You're like, oh, I've got a year. And then you get offered 3 years. And it's like, oh, and then it's just like, then it was just yearly. You just got renewed. And it's so weird because you're in this Weatherfield bubble of people's other lives, this made-up lives, like Beth's family, Beth's son, Beth's husband. And you're that involved in that, you sort of tend to forget a bit about real life and what's going on, because you don't actually have a lot of spare time for your real life, because also you're involved in charity work and helping this person or that person. And like the first year, I think every weekend I was doing charity work. I just got so involved, because you're sort of like, everybody wants you to be involved in this and that, and you think, oh God, yeah, that's a really good thing, and I feel like I need to offer back, you know, give back to what I've been given, this incredible opportunity. And it does get exhausting, but it's like a family. You become ingrained in a family. So the years just flew. It didn't seem like a long time, if that makes sense.
It does, it does. And soap drama works at an incredible pace.
So fast.
How did you keep performances fresh, like, while, I suppose, honouring the character and the audiences know so well, the character, you know, you're in everyone's home, you know, so much.
I knew her basics. Like when I first started, I mean, I was told just slam dunk it and just give everything that you can on the scripts, because the writers didn't know who she was. So I just only had what the script said. And I remember the first 3 months, I got a bit, not depressed, but I wasn't happy, because I'd always thought I was quite natural on screen. And I'd slam dunk this character and I thought, God, she's really big, really big. I don't believe her. I don't believe her myself. And I remember speaking to Noreen Kershaw, who's now director. She was a great actress. And I said, I don't believe her. I don't like what I'm doing. And I said, I feel like I know when she's bolshy and when she's angry and big and boisterous, but like, I don't know how she is in any other situation. Say the focus wasn't on Beth and you were in a scene with other factory workers or something like that. And I'd be really floundering, because I don't know how she should be in this situation, because it was another side of that I didn't know. I hadn't quite worked her out then. And so she basically said, just go home, go back to thinking like her everyday things in life, and just think about being natural with her and bringing other things to the character. Because I said, I don't want it to be one-sided. She has to have more than that. And then I just worked on how to develop her, and I chose her hairstyle. I was adamant about her style of 80s clothing. She had to be 80s. And I remember director Duncan Foster, amazing director. I was late on set and I'd had not a Queenie fit, but I'd been upset because they'd brought these outfits, and there was all very, like, it was a new 70s style that was coming out and everything. And I was like, this is not Beth. This is nothing to do with my character. And I was like, I'm really sorry, but I can't wear these clothes. I felt really strong. And I had a word with the director and I said, I'm really sorry I'm late on set. I had costume issues, blah, blah, blah. He said, Lisa, if you don't fight for your character, no one else will. And I totally respect you for taking that decision. So I was like, oh, brilliant. So from then on, I was like, no, she's not wearing that. And that's what I want, you know. So you have to, and think of fresh ideas. Oh, Beth's into this at the minute, or Beth wants these type of handbags or these type of shoes and stuff like that. So you're always bringing ideas, and then people would send in jewellery for her. So you're always reinventing her in some ways, yeah.
So I suppose it all kind of leads into the next question. Like she was outspoken, flawed, very human. How did you continue finding new layers with her in such a long-running role? You're talking about her outward persona, but you must have. And also, how do you separate her at the end of the day from you?
Well, that's a tricky one, because I did start to think it's sort of moulding a little bit together. Like, she wants to stay young looking, so do I. You know, all these different things. And like, I became far more outspoken as a person, as Lisa, than I ever was, because I was not as bolshy as Beth. And she sort of gave me a bit of confidence to be able to do that, because like sometimes I used to think, God, she's so big. And I used to dread having to bring all that energy to get into her, because you're just like, she's exhausting. But you should, it's like putting on a pair of slippers. You just slip into it. I don't know how to explain it. You just do. But I did think there was a bit of crossover at some point, yeah.
So when did you finish?
2024.
So 2024 finished, and you put her away. How was that, not having to think as her every day?
I realised how much anxiety it gave me by stepping away from it, because I work really hard on my scripts, and I'm one of those people, rehearse until I know everything backwards.
Can I just chip in and say, this is me like this to you. Your work ethic is incredible. Working alongside Lisa on Acting Links, see it not just in the creative side of things, but also on the admin side of things when we're looking at the business side of Acting Links. It's incredible. I just have to chip in and say, and it's easy to, I think it's easy to broad brush soap actors with maybe a negative connotation, if I may.
True.
But since I've been working with Lisa, and Lisa's explained what her day-to-day regime was, it blew my mind.
Relentless.
One
of my questions is what would surprise people about the reality of working on a show like that?
There's the hours and the learning off screen. Yeah. Like, I'll be up at 5, I'll leave my house at 6, I'll be in the studios for 7 in makeup, got an hour in makeup till 8, be in costume for 8:15, 2 minutes to grab a piece of toast on set for 8:30, and then you've got an hour per scene, and you could do 10 to 13 scenes a day. If you're in storyline, like I was saying, when I was in the Sinead storyline with the cancer, I had 5 books of 5 scripts. So I was working, I think it was either 25 scripts or 40 scripts concurrently. Wow. Because there's 3 to 5 directors on a block. So you could be.
Explain what a block is.
Oh, sorry. So
not knowing.
It's really confusing.
We forget that there's a few things I think we've talked about. We're like,
sorry. So a block. So each director has a block of 6 episodes, which denotes like the one day a week in the week, but they film it over 4 weeks. So you can be in either 1, 2 scenes or like all the scenes, and it's spread over the 4 weeks. But concurrently, there are 2, 3, 4, 5 other directors doing the same thing. So the next director could be filming a episode, 5 episodes, 6 episodes prior to your block, and then another director be filming like 2 weeks ahead of your block. That when it comes out,
it's a witchcraft, is what.
It's a head mess.
Sorcery.
It's a head mess. So
I like feature film, 90 minutes, linear, 1 done.
It's a mess. So you're working on script. So say, for example, I could be on 1 block in the morning, and then I go to a second block after that scene, still in the morning, but it's 6 episodes behind or 6 episodes in front. So you need to know where you are in the story. Then you go back to that director, and then the 3rd, 4th block of the day, you're 25 eps ahead.
So this goes back to a lot of people don't know all the jobs in TV and film. And this makes me go, gosh, you've got to have good continuity people.
Oh, absolutely.
Also known as script supervisors.
Yeah.
So they will sit and really help everybody understand where they are.
Yes. Now, we did come across that sometimes. You say, hang on a minute, in the last script, we said blah, 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 blah. And in this script, it says blah, 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 blah. And they don't match, and they need to match. And so sometimes you did get that where you had to bring it up and say, look, there's this. But it's the hours. So you're there 7 till 7. You get home 8 o'clock, have your tea, sit and look at your lines.
And is it 5 days a week?
It depends. It depends how many blocks you're on or how many directors you're working with. Yeah, it just depends how many scenes you're in. Yeah, but it's a lot. I did it as an example in class once, didn't I? Yeah. And showed, colour coded every director that I was with, so I knew what scenes were where, and I'd pick up that orange book for the morning, then I'm on blue book, then I'm on green book, then I'm on, do you know what I mean? So everyone could actually see the reality. I mean, I used to get all my scripts out and line them up and then take what scenes
What
I was
was
doing for that
today?
one. Yeah.
I think you put everybody off wanting to actually go into
They
acting
don't
for a second.
realise. They don't realise.
Both of you see the industry from different angles, I think. And how do you think the attitudes towards regional actors and talent have changed, or haven't they? Let's talk about it.
Yes, there has been a swing to a more positive swing to regional actors. Yeah. Back in the day, it was very, very much they wanted RP, didn't they? And but now,
in that sense, I mean, it doesn't matter about accents now.
No.
Not so important.
I've got a question. I'm going off script, but name me one project that you know that a Lincolnshire actor has given a authentic Lincolnshire performance. I can't name one, and there is a fact that I know that I think in 100 years of the BBC there hasn't been a Lincolnshire authentically set drama or comedy in scripted. So
wow.
when people don't know the Lincolnshire accent, it's because they don't hear it.
Projects keep coming here, which is great and super. And we are privy to the casting breakdowns. Fortunate that we've got people that are looking out for us. And in the not too distant future, we probably will be launching Acting Links Management so that we do get the full casting breakdowns. Seeing these casting breakdowns, looking for authentic Lincolnshire, even authentic, as specific as Grimsby, because within Lincolnshire, we have a myriad of different dialects.
Accents and dialects.
Grimsby is very unique.
I was talking on the way here with the team that we were like, do you say duck or do you say love? So there's
Duck.
it's in South
Duck.
Lincolnshire. There's how are you doing, duck? You're okay.
Yeah,
duck?
Yeah.
I up me duck.
And that's a real thing. And I don't hear that anywhere else. Not specifically. There's something quite specific about
Because you're
Lincolnshire
nearer the
ducks.
Midlands, and A up me duck's very Nottingham, Derby,
Duck.
East Mids.
Yeah, but
There's a
even
very
though
distinctive accent between North and South Lincolnshire, to the point of the size of the county. It covers a lot of ground.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, we've spoken about this, and this is why I love sort of like forming a partnership with Location Links, because I think there's a lot of synergy with what we're doing. And of course, we can't persuade casting directors or sway that decision. That decision is way out of our control. But what we can do is make our actors visible and hopefully try and move that choice to them committing to using local actors in projects that are being filmed here.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think there's a fear. The talent's here, but the talent hasn't got the credits.
Mm.
And therefore, it's a higher risk to a production company to use that talent that hasn't got the credits and the set experience as to some of their colleagues down south. And I think that they think we're going to save time here by booking actors that have set experience,
That can try the accent.
and then we'll try and get them to train up to play that role. And they don't commit to that commitment of using local talent, and that's what we've got to try and say.
And I think from a filmmaking point of view, it should be authentic to the piece.
I agree.
And I think that we have the same issue with Location Links with the preconception that there's no crew here. There absolutely is. You know,
Yeah.
and a lot of the time, you're being put up anyway. It's like this, the crew go into the bubble and they move around the different locations. But I think it's that same thing of like, well, there's nothing there because we haven't looked. We don't even know. We haven't
did
tried.
like 3-Day Millionaire here. Do you
They
know what I
did,
mean? That was
yeah.
a big thing. I remember a few years ago, I went to see a film that John Godber produced, and he was in it. And he used all of East Coast people, like the whole crew. Everybody gave their time and everything. And I remember the big thing about it was we're trying to move the industry from either the South or the West over to the East Coast. And it was a big thing of his. I mean, I don't know how well it's gone since then because it was a few years ago now. But also, have you not noticed, that's what I was going to say, I might put a spanner in the works here, but when you look at casting things that come up on Instagram and stuff like that, they're always looking for people, no experience needed, must be from this area and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you're doing that everywhere else, so why are you not doing that here? Do you know what I mean?
And there are instances of that.
Well,
Obviously,
I mean,
know-
Thomas Turk,
who's done the pod, who's done this pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Classic and no training and everything.
Super. And it was obviously a big gamble on the casting director to do.
But that's, I suppose that's the way Shane Meadows works anyway. A lot of his casting came from undiscovered actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And I think that's his way of filmmaking.
Was that like with the guy with adolescence as well?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Stephen Graham came from. We talked about Stephen with Tomo on his podcast, and Shane is an incredible advocate for the East Coast. His latest film shot in Grimsby and Cleethorpes as well last year. So I think where producers coming from outside of the county are looking here, I think they just need to be open, certainly in just the day players. You know,
Yeah.
if you know, I'm also, shall we say, I've been naughty. I've cast from outside the county, but I have every intention that the casting with the day players and with the supporting artists should all be local. But also, I want the actors that are coming in from outside to 100% sound authentic, and they need to do the work to be right. But things don't get made without star power. So you know, you've got to get things. You've got to get things into production. So you've got to get the balance right. But then hopefully over the years, in all the things that we're all trying to do, we'll have a thriving regular industry that it's not even thought about. That we know that the talent is here. We know we can crew, and the producers are looking here. And it doesn't feel like a risk, and it does feel like a safe place to come to production, save some money, because it is economically cheaper to shoot here.
Absolutely.
And the crew is of a calibre you would get anywhere else in the country. I would love for there to be a breakout drama or film that puts this county on the global platform and the global stage, and gives it the we've talked about set jetting with other people, but gives it that kind of, I want to go and see Lincolnshire as well. So bring more people spending money into the county.
Yes, absolutely.
That creative economy driving tourism and seeing a much more positive attitude towards the county itself. I think a lot of people aren't proud of being from Lincolnshire. They don't talk about it.
I'm proud. Very
I'm
proud.
But there's people that I've discovered are from Lincolnshire that have never even mentioned it.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, be proud, shout about it. And more people are getting on board. I got somebody sent me an invoice, and it was Yellow Belly Productions. And I'm like,
Yellow Belly, that Lincolnshire.
hang on a minute.
Yellow Belly.
I'm like, I didn't know you were from Lincolnshire. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well then, come on, join
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
join the
Join the crusade.
Join the
Yeah,
crusade. Join the
absolutely.
crusade. Is there still a confidence gap for performers who don't come from traditional drama school routes?
I think going through the traditional drama training route can almost add a fear. And those that haven't gone through that are a little bit more cocky. I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way, but a little bit more gung-ho.
Well, it's like a child. If you've not fallen down, you don't know it's going to hurt.
Absolutely. And when you're in a drama training setting with that competition, even the competition within that setting, you know, in my year there was, I think, 55 students.
How many got an agent on Showcase? That's another thing. That's...
This is
Well, ours
fun
was
fact.
very good. Cardiff was very good for that.
Well, fun fact, that we didn't have a showcase, but
Okay.
there was two of us.
Two
Two
in
of us
55.
that went straight into work. I finished my course and then went straight into Joseph the following weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so lucky. I was just lucky. Right place, right time. Way before I had contacts. I was meeting the person that was actually playing the narrator in that forthcoming production, and someone had dropped out. One of the brothers had dropped out, and when I went to meet that person for lunch, the narrator, she said, "Don't panic, but you're coming to audition now for Joseph."
Oh my God.
And I went, and I didn't have anything with me. I think
But that's how it can happen.
They needed someone quick. I was there on the spot, and that's how I got it.
Wow.
But also,
2 out of 50. Going back to how many, it was 2 out of 50 that went into work.
But also, I have to say, when I left drama school, it's not us who have that. It's like the casting people. You wouldn't get cast if you hadn't been to drama school 30 odd years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
You had to show that you had been to a reputable reputable
It was the
drama
equity
school.
card, it was
the
the
equity
everything,
card, the drama school training. Because I know people in the industry who haven't been to drama school and they do feel a little bit like they've missed out a bit, or some people. So nowadays, you don't have to go to drama school. There's lots of different academies and stuff like that where you can learn, you know, in Manchester and wherever. Whereas, and people are not so bothered now for casting. But years ago, if you hadn't been to drama school, you didn't really get a look in anyway. So that's why I was like, I've got to go to drama school. It's the only way through, unless you go to uni and then do a year's drama school course.
Yeah, and do
Yeah.
yeah. I think there's a lot more content. I hate that word, but there's a lot more films and TV that actually do open casting and go into
absolutely.
schools and go.
You would
know,
never
you have
even
much more.
see it.
No.
But again, we didn't have the social media then. So
No.
that's what I'm saying. The whole industry. I'll be honest with you, I hadn't done self-tapes until I left Corrie.
How important are organisations like Acting Links and visible stories like Lisa's in shifting perceptions?
This lady's an inspiration. Oh God, I sound like such a fan, don't
God,
I?
I know. You say awful things to me off screen.
No, hang on. Before I walked onto this set, you just said to me, I look awful.
I did not say that. You misinterpreted
She did.
it.
She said
no,
that.
he totally misinterpreted it. No, that's so untrue. That's your... right, anyway.
Yeah, how important. We talked about some of the barriers to Lincolnshire-based actors, and a lot of that we've talked about is exposure to people in the industry, high-profile people in the industry. When I was down south, it was commonplace that one day I would be with so-and-so, next day it's so-and-so. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
High-profile people. Living here, they're not exposed to it. So if they do get an in-person meeting with a high-caliber exec, there's extra nerves, isn't there? Because you're not actually exposed to people of that caliber. Even by Lisa coming in to classes, whether it be the hobbyists or the pros, I see the energy change in that room straight away. I never said it was in a good way.
The fear.
It's the fear. Well, it is the fear, but that's not a bad thing, because they notice she's bloody good.
I'm just old school. I'm just really old school.
The way how you work with actors and when you're training them, they hang on every word. And it's not just because she's Lisa who played Beth in Coronation Street. It's because she knows her onions. And
yeah, I'd seen them as stuff.
But the byproduct is they've had the exposure to someone with that industry experience. So that when they go and meet somebody else of Lisa's caliber, it's not going to phase.
It's a little less intimidating.
It's a little less intimidating.
Because I'm intimidating as it is.
You
I'm
are.
so frightened because I tell them the truth. I go, I don't believe it.
Well,
I just don't believe it. You know.
I'm going to go and get a razor straight away after we finish shooting this. Mustache is going. Mustache is going. Obviously.
So, networking.
Oh.
So networking can sound intimidating,
Yes.
especially to people starting out.
Yeah.
What has it actually meant for each of you in your careers?
Well, I could say because through networking, I've met you.
Yeah.
And you say it's intimidating for people starting out in their careers. 30 years down the line, it's still intimidating for me. People don't believe me if they say, look, real Lee is quite shy. I have a work mode, and certainly when I was much younger and working my way up in the industry, yeah, I would go to work and I would wear my armour. I would do the jacket. I would do the shirt. I wouldn't do the tie. But that became, okay, it's an old phrase, but I did probably used to power dress because I was a young person in a position of
Authority.
Authority, yeah. I was a producer. I was a partner in the production company in the first production company. So the importance of networking is that we've already established I went to a university to do my drama training. Yes, the training was good, but it was the networking opportunities whilst I was down there that really led to unlocking my career paths. Whilst I was at drama training, I started working at my local theatre. Gordon Craig Theatre, Stevenage. Love
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah, loved it. And was very fortunate. And I'll always give credit to this person, but the theatre manager there, Yvonne Janssen, took me under her wing. And yeah, it was her, thanks to her, that really, that's how I got Joseph. It was her that made the call and looked out for me. And things then sort of like sprangboard from that.
For actors or creatives in Lincolnshire, what does good networking look like, especially if you're not in London every day?
Oh, what does good networking?
Gosh.
Yeah, and it's hard, isn't it? Because that's a good question. That's made me think about our model, about bringing, when we do bring high-profile people here and put them in front of 30 professional actors, 30 professional actors can't just go, can they? I do give guidance. It was interesting, Peter Hunt's masterclass with our professional actors. He actually gave some really, really good advice to them about how to manage it post meeting him.
Oh, that's interesting.
What does that mean?
Well, don't just all in one go tomorrow write to me and go, I met you yesterday. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Have something to tell me.
Have something to say.
Have
Well,
something to
I
say.
did exactly that with them. I did. I mean, I did a theatre workshop with Audrey Sheffield, I think she's called, and not done one since drama school. But I was like, I just want to do some acting, do something. And this was me being brave, putting myself out there. And so I applied, I don't know what it's called. It's something in Manchester, you know, like they've got Run It Shouting in London. It's something like Rolling Academy or something in Manchester. And I thought, God, that's not bad. 40 quid for a workshop. And I looked at who the theatre, she'd been doing work at the National Theatre and stuff like that. And I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to go on that. So I did, got on brilliant with her. There was like about 8 or 10 of us on the course. I was petrified, obviously, because I was putting myself out there being really vulnerable. But I was like, I need to do this for me. And she gave me a really difficult piece that I'd been on at the National, which instantly, the woman who played the part, I knew her husband from drama school. Anyway, that's just another story. And because I thought, gosh, this is really easy what she's given me. There's not much to it. And then when I really got into it, I thought, oh my God, there's so much subtext in this. It's unbelievable. So anyway, I worked on it, we did it, and she was like, yeah, lean into this a bit more, blah, blah, blah. And then afterwards got like really, really lovely feedback. And she said to me, oh, I'm going to send you the recording of it. There's an audible version because I'm visually impaired. It's tiring to read plays. So if I can hear it, it's better. And she said, I'll send the recording. And the recording was exactly how I'd done it in my head and in the workshops. And I was like, oh yeah. And she said, you know, you did, I was really pleased with what you did with the work and stuff like that. And it sort of gave me like another thing, because being out of work for a while, you go, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So I did put myself in that position and come away thinking, I'm glad I did that. I am glad I did that. And so I now know that director. Do you know what I mean?
It's putting the fear of something. If you don't have a go and you don't try it,
you'll never know.
You'll never know.
And that's
Just
the
say
same
yes.
with going into acting and the business, the industry, isn't it, for everybody?
Can I still expand? It's all right, and expand further on networking there. One thing I have found since coming back to Lincolnshire and also working in the funded sector, you're kind of invited to networkers practically every week, and it's hard to. You can't go to everyone because you're actually working. Does that make sense? These events during the day. And so you have to be strategic as well. I think you have to be strategic because there was one part I was going, oh God, another networker. Is it all? And certainly if they're all happening in Lincolnshire, is it going to be the same fish swimming in? Do I know everybody already? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
But then if you don't go, you run the risk of looking like you're
Not engaging,
blanking, or being up yourself or arrogant. Does that make sense? And you go, but I can't physically go to every single one.
Well, this is how this relationship came about. You came to a Location Links
And it was
networking event,
superb,
and then
yeah.
we bumped into each other again at the Creative England
Yes.
networking event, which they held in Skegness, which
Yeah.
is results. You know, like 3 years ago, would they have been in Skegness doing this conversation? I'm not sure they would. I mean, I think there's a real movement now because people are talking and networking together, that there is conversation and opportunity happening with these connections. So since the first networking event for Location Links, we've had directors working with writers. We have Tom Turgoose joining as an exec on one of the projects.
Wow, brilliant.
We've continued a relationship. I hopefully are bringing a film to Grimsby and Cleethorpes, which we're hoping to work together on casting authentically, as we've talked about. It proves that networking, it literally works. It does. If you're looking to get more work, if you're looking to expand your opportunities within the creative industries, within the region, go and meet people, because they're all looking for the same thing. And if you can align on tastes and personality and jobs and opportunities, that's happening in the room all over. The more we do it, the more people are. But you are right, there is a world where it's the same people that are going. But I don't think it is at the moment. I think there's a lot of people coming for the first time because we are talking and we are being very public about, let's do this. Let's try and get a film fund for the region. Let's try and get more productions into the county, that so people can have more work within, more sustainable work within the county. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on the ramble. But,
But there's good networking.
Yeah. I think it's incredibly important that people, and whether it be an entry-level role, like whether you're a graduate or you're somebody who just is intrigued about getting into the industry, having no experience in any area whatsoever, by meeting these people and thinking, do you know what, that's something I would like to do or I'd like to move into.
Absolutely.
It takes courage to go to a networker as well, you know, but if you can muster that courage and get through the door, then proof is in the pudding.
It does
There
work.
we are.
It does work.
Yeah.
I suppose, I mean, you look at the success of the North East and the progress they've made, and the West Midlands in the last 3 to 5 years.
Yes.
There was resistance at the beginning when North East Screen, it changed its name. There was government money and they had a plan. But the production companies and the artists and everyone in that region have heard it all before. It's not going to work.
Right.
Why is this particular time that you're saying it's going to be that we're going to see more work coming in? And actually, if you look at Alison and the team up at North East Screen have immeasurably changed the picture of the North East and the production in the North East. There is a BBC investment in the area, and that is now followed with the West Midlands. So I'm now like this. We're here too, kind of thing.
Yeah, because they got rid of like doctors and the, what was the BBC programme that used to happen in Birmingham years ago?
Pebble Mill.
Was it Pebble Mill? And they got rid of all that, didn't they?
no.
Yeah.
Well, the big major for the West Midlands was Peaky Blinders, and I think
so
there's been a big move. There's been the Digbeth Studios have been built, and the same with the
that's
North East.
brilliant.
Looking for, they've got a number of dramas that have gone up there.
Is that a Smoggies or something?
Smoggy Queens.
That's it.
Smoggy Queens has done
St.
really well.
Peter's in there.
But there's been a definitive investment into content up in both areas.
Brilliant.
So what I would love to see in Lincolnshire is our Broadchurch, is a returnable drama, is something that puts our landscape and vistas in its authenticity on the screen, as well as independent film, being able to get finance and be able to make independent film, but also the big studios come and have a look at the region and come and see what we've got on offer. And it has worked for everywhere else. So we really should be, and you know, Lincolnshire County Council really are looking at it internally to be able to support the creative arts and to be able to support film and TV. They see the economic value of set jetting and the visitor economy. So hopefully we will see a measured change in spend within the county.
And have you spoken to the council about
The council are aligned with the ambition. It's not going to be tomorrow, of course, nothing comes quickly, but I really hope that those internal conversations really do continue to grow.
Quickly, sorry, but I think we ought to mention this amazing building that we're in, the Central Hall, segueing from possible locations, studio spaces, and heritage. It's an outstanding space. It's had a bit of a history, and fingers crossed its future is going to be safe.
Why do you think platforms like Acting Links are important to places like Lincolnshire?
Well, I hope what we've kind of, in what we've discussed already, kind of underpins the value of what we're doing. Visibility was one, providing training opportunities and a space for creatives to meet on a regular basis to stay on top of their craft and stay connected to the industry. Without that space, there would just be a lot of lost actors, I think, in the county.
And Location Links is encouraging producers to consider Lincolnshire as a filming location and bring productions to the county. Is there a particular place that you think would be a fantastic location?
Well, I mean, it's quite epic, isn't it?
And we're here in Grimsby Central Hall.
Grimsby Central
Hall. The docks, obviously.
The docks is iconic. Lincolnshire Wolds as well is absolutely beautiful. Everyone thinks that think of Lincolnshire and we think fens, flat, bleak, but the Wolds is absolutely beautiful.
What would you say to a producer considering coming?
Come and have a look.
Yeah. Stop considering. Get yourself down the P-bong like we did.
Yeah.
Add a chips and you'll be here in a job.
Yeah.
Lisa, Lee, thank you so much for joining us here at Grimsby Central Hall for a fabulous chat about Acting Links, and I wish you all the best with it moving forward, and hopefully our collaboration will bring fantastic fruits to the fish to the counter, fish suppers in.
We've got plenty of that, Heather. Thank you.
This podcast was created by Keel Productions in partnership with the School of Creative Arts at the University of Lincoln and brought to you by our headline sponsor, Associated British Ports. In our next episode, we will be joined by Carl Bird, movie enthusiast and BBC Radio Lincolnshire presenter.